Welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nonsense. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy From Afar, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, FPL champion only for a little bit more time, Chuck Bailey, and super producer Ian Stimpson. How's it going, boys? Chuck, how are you doing?
Always good to start on a dig. Yeah, great, mate. Get it in what you can. That's all I'm saying. Hope you're prepared and you brought your Vaseline, because we're going deep on your ass.
Oh, all right. Good. I didn't realize it was my birthday. Looking forward to it. Ian, checking in on Posh Island as required, as almost skipped last week. Very indignant, very shocked that I would potentially listen to what you asked for. So I'm going to respect that and come on back. Talk to me about Posh. How's it going? Tell me about Peterborough this week.
Not as good as I would have hoped. We only drew against Sunderland, and that takes promotion out of Peterborough's hands now, because if Sunderland win all their games, Hull win all their games, there's nothing we can do about it. This was our chance to shut Sunderland out, and it didn't happen. So
yeah, fucked it.
Yep.
That was always going to happen now. Just play for fun, you know? See out the rest of the year.
We're going to finish third, and then finishing third never wins the playoffs. I'm going to go to Wembley and get all disappointed, and it's going to be awful.
Hey, at least you get to go to Wembley, though. Going to places, doing things. Are you kidding? That's like...
If we get through the semi-final.
Oh, yeah, he's making a bit of a stretch that they get through the semi-finals to the playoffs.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure if the semi-finals are also at Wembley, like the FA Cup, or...
Oh no, they're two-legged, so we'll lose to fucking Blackpool or something. It's written in the stars.
There you go. Ian Holloway is Blackpool, right? Is that right? Was he a manager of theirs? Did I make that up completely?
Yeah. You're only like 12 years out, but
hey,
sure.
That I remembered, one, the name of a person, let alone a manager. Two, what team they were with, and
I think he deserves a little bit of credit, actually.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a huge win for me. I take that. All right. Well, if you are joining us for the first time, thank you. We are happy to have you. We are a podcast with two Brits and one American, and we try to talk about the Premier League, but we mostly go off track and get distracted. If you are back, thank you. We love you. We appreciate it. Tell a friend. Write a review, 5 stars.
Leave a review.
You prick.
We haven't had a review for ages.
We've got one Asian review. That's our only 1 star. Don't know what it says. Can't translate it.
Is that true?
I don't know. I think so. I could be making it up.
We did get a 1 star, but the coward didn't leave a review. That was
fucking
ages ago.
bitch.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the show, really. Yeah. It's just once a week I log on to get yelled at for 2 hours by 2 British dudes. Like, what am I doing?
Have listened, not a fan.
Not a fan.
We tried to streamline it down to an hour, mate, but you just keep coming back for more. So
Fair enough. I mean, some people pay extra for that sort of thing, so I'm not one to judge. We should transition into the main part of the show, and we like to kick things off around here with our famous segment, Rapid Fire News. Unfortunately, womp womp, no fun news stories this week. This is actually just an entire edition of Rapid Fire Racism. We have had quite a few incidents, and as usual, we try not to ignore those and to just bring it up and keep everybody informed of all the vile things that are happening all around. So we'll start things off with West Bromwich Albion. West Brom have contacted West Midlands Police after striker Callum Robinson was subjected to racist abuse on social media after Saturday's 5-2 win against Chelsea. Robinson, 26, came off the bench to score twice in the shock victory for relegation-threatened West Brom. West Brom said they were appalled by the messages sent to the Republic of Ireland forward on Instagram, and they are going to be seeking the toughest available legal punishment. I'm kind of assuming that that's Chelsea fans here, if I'm being honest, given that it happened after a shock loss against us, and that Chelsea have plenty of history with racist fans and bad things. Either way, whether you're a Chelsea fan or not, if you are one of the people, I don't know why you would be listening to this, but that sent Callum Robinson some terrible messages on social media. Fuck you, you suck. And moving on. I hope that the police do come down as strongly as possible on the side of the player there. Continuing on with our tour of Racism Island, we had an incident with Valencia. Valencia players on April 4th walked off the pitch against Cadiz due to what appeared to be an alleged racist comment against their defender, Mukhtar Diakhaby. Apologies on the pronunciation there. That has since been followed up by an official statement by Valencia saying that they don't believe the person whose name I won't use, who is the racist, saying that it's made up and this thing never happened, blah, 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 blah. Valencia came out and said, official statement, person, we don't believe you. And then, kind of took it from there. So
should we not call him out and shame him for being a racist? I understand like your point, of course, and I'm happy to go with that, but I feel that we shouldn't. If it is someone who is a racist, why are we protecting their identity for?
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I guess my version of that was just like, let's not speak their name because they suck. But yeah, you're right. We should call them out. So that player was Juan Cala from Cadiz, and he sucks. That's it. Yeah.
He really does. If the reports of what he's saying are true, Jesus Christ, he sucks. Fuck me.
Well, I haven't heard that bit. I haven't heard exactly what was said. Don't really think I need to.
It's bad.
You saw on the pitch how Diakabi was openly talking to the ref without hiding himself, speaking about what had happened. And then Kala goes over to the manager, covers his mouth, makes sure he's not seen doing anything, which automatically makes you think, well, what are you trying to hide? So,
yeah.
And then there was all kinds of different things at the time because the Valencia players walked off and everyone said, that's great. Then the Valencia players came back and they didn't really understand why. There were some reports at the time saying Diakabi told them to go back out. And it turns out actually in Valencia's statement, they were told that they would be punished if they didn't go out and play again. So not exactly La Liga taking their anti-racist stance very seriously. The fact that they were forcing players to play probably would have, at the same vein, just liked Valencia to say, fuck it. And yeah, it's disgusting. And, Valencia calling him out and saying, look, you had the chance to tell the truth and you're not doing it.
So
We stand by your
directly
players.
calling
We're going
him
to
out.
change you. Yeah, fuck that guy. Good for Valencia at least.
Yeah.
Taking that
For
stance.
them to just come out and just straight up be like, you're
a liar.
You're a liar. We stand with our player. We believe our player. We believe people that are victims of this sort of stuff. Like, fantastic messaging from the club. Every little bit, every little ally, every little fight counts and helps. So continuing along the tour, the grand tour of racist crap, we have Tottenham Hotspur tweeting on April 4th, we are disgusted by the racist messages received by Davinson Sanchez today and are calling on social media platforms to take action. Sanchez being one of many, many, many players, basically every week, all the time at all times, to be getting racist abuse on social media. At a certain point, and I don't really think we need to comment on the specifics one here, I would think that probably down the line, clubs will have some sort of more say on what types of social media platforms the players are like using and posting on and stuff. If the greater world at large doesn't really start to take charge of this, then it'll probably be up to the clubs to protect their players or do something. But at the end of the day, like, you can't tell someone not to have social media. You could just say, like, you have to have, like, super high security settings or whatever. I don't know. They have to protect the players somehow.
I don't think we spoke about it during the international break, but Thierry Henry took himself off all of social media until it gets sorted, until there are more severe punishments, as opposed to just saying, oh, well, no, we're not going to get rid of monkey emojis and stuff like that, like, fucking whatever. But it's why a lot of players now, they don't manage their social media accounts. And you don't just see it in football, you see it across everywhere. You hear of MPs getting bags and bags of hate mail and racist hate mail and those kind of things. And they have teams of people who deal with that. And on their social media, we joke about the Joe Hart, obviously that side. And so you see that these pages aren't being managed by them because a lot of them are like, you know what, we don't want the abuse, but you feel like you still have to be on there. And it's like it's ruining that part of Twitter, which is, when a footballer does respond to you or see something or that kind of nice side where, and even sometimes footballers getting on with people who are like fairly criticising them, let's say, or analysing their play or whatever, and then they respond and they have, you read through the threads and you see that engagement and it's nice, that kind of side of it. And then you're like, but it's sadly, it's like a lot of things in life that there's just some absolute scumbags that ruin it for everyone. And it's a shame that the response has to be, well, we'll just leave it and just let that thing become a cesspit of horrible, as opposed to there being more direct action and just being a bit, you know what, fuck it, we will. You know, if people are using the N word to describe people or all sorts of other bits and pieces, like there should be severe actions, and the punishments don't ever fit the crimes. When it's, you know, people getting 2 years or whatever it is for being paedophiles online, but then 2 guys got 17 years for streaming football games illegally, and you're like, the punishments do not match the crimes in terms of their actual impact on society so much as their impact on economics. And so the simple fact is that until we start seeing sponsorship action and those kind of things, as we have seen with obviously the NFL, with the Washington football team and a few other bits and pieces that are going on in the States at the minute, I can't claim to be an expert, but with the state of Georgia, until we see those kind of sanctions and kind of things come into football, Instagram, Facebook, you're not going to see action, and that's the saddening thing behind it.
The tricky thing is that, like, who is it that it falls upon to, like, do something about it? Because the internet is obviously available everywhere. So, like, is it subject to international law? Is it subject to UK law? Is it subject to United States law? Is it, like, depends on where you live? That's the, like, there's a lot of very gray areas and legal questions around that the internet companies have largely tried to ignore or avoid dealing with. But I think it is reaching a point where, not just in sports, I think this is like, you know, obviously we saw like the effect of social media on the recent movements in the US and political and otherwise. So I think that it is something that is going to fall to eventually the internet companies, specifically the social media companies, to do something about. Because, like, I know for me, like, in person, the number of times that I've had, like, a racial slur used against me or, like, felt physically unsafe, as opposed to just your casual, like, dirty look or, like, you know, almost lesser racist offenses. Very, very few and far between do those like, really notable incidents happen in real life. But online, like, I get shit in my DMs, like, very regularly. I just immediately, like, block the person. I don't bother reading it. Like, I try not to let it, like, affect me. I think I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing, being like, ugh, trash person, blocked. Ugh, trash person, blocked. Yeah. But you get it on social media, like, infinitely more than you do in real life, because people realize, like, you know, if someone comes up to me in my face and uses a racial slur, like, they're getting knocked the fuck out.
There's a risk to them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I'm a pretty big dude, you know, so, like, I think that stops people from doing that. But online, I'm just an avatar of a Funko Pop wearing a Chelsea jersey. So, like, I think it gives people a lot of room there. Moving on to our last one. This is an update on an older situation. Following an investigation, UEFA has decided to allow Gareth Bale to elbow Kudela every day. Nope, that's not the punishment. Sorry, that's my bad.
If only.
He gets Oscar's dream law change, which is he gets to get elbowed in the face 3 times a day.
Yep, exactly. Shout out Gareth Bale. We stand Gareth Bale now. Official fan of the official player of the podcast.
Fan of the pod. He is a fan of the pod.
He is a big fan of the pod as well. He has a lot of free time while he's golfing. Listens to podcasts.
Wales, golf, miles offside, Madrid.
That's the order.
So sorry to say the actual thing. UEFA has decided to suspend Slavia Prague's Kudela for 1 game after the racial incident with Rangers' Glenn Kamara. Kudela was injured over the international break and would still have been out against Arsenal on Thursday anyway. So it is a 1-game ban that will not actually be served.
1-game ban for a game he wasn't going to.
There is technically, I guess it could be longer. Ian, you were saying this earlier, that it might be like potentially 10 matches or even more, depending on like it's getting handed over to a different board or something like that. Yeah. So it could be more, but either way, like what a fucking bullshit thing.
At what point does this have to escalate beyond the single person that does it?
How do you mean?
How do you mean? Like the club is getting punished now?
Yeah. At what point does that? Because if you're
it's fair
if
point.
you're having this player and then, you know, he gets his 1 match, 10 match, whatever it is ban, he's probably still going to train with the club. The club will go, oh, you've been a very naughty boy, or blah, 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 probably just having laughs and stuff around with the players, and then he just comes back and then it's fine. And then the club don't suffer for with regards to their standing with UEFA, they still get to compete in the competitions and crack on. Meanwhile, It's just kind of a hush up for a little while, make people forget about the guy that was racist. Oh, now he's back and now it's fine, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. In the 80s, English teams were banned from Europe for the actions of the fans, with hooliganism and stuff.
Well, yeah, the big one was it happened with Liverpool, and all English clubs were banned from European competition for 5 years. Liverpool were banned for 6. That was in 1985.
And that's because of the fans of English teams. I mean, you're right. At some point, the conduct of the players, who surely represent the clubs a bit more than the fans do,
exactly,
should be. It feels like the world has changed since the 80s, in that there's so much more money in the game that to ban clubs, be it from a nation or just to ban an individual club, if a player does something like this, just feels like such a big move just because of money. But that shouldn't stop it being the right thing to do, it's just...
On a societal level, and I have a different perspective, I guess, than you guys might because of being in America and the whole free speech thing, whereas you guys can actually, face legal action for saying racial slurs and stuff, I believe is my understanding of over there.
Hang on, so in America you can't face... Is that what you're saying?
You can call anything... You can call anyone anything you want.
There's no hate crime laws or anything.
Hate crimes are only about, physical attack.
Really?
Or discrimination in the workplace or anything. You can use any words anywhere, anytime you want, to any person.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. Free speech, baby. It's great.
It's called an amendment.
We have a lot of them, and most of them are bad, actually. Some are good, some are bad.
I like the way amendments to the Constitution can't possibly be changed, though, when they are in themselves amendments.
Prohibition came and went pretty fucking quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, there's only one amendment that came in, and then one amendment amending another amendment, and that's to get rid of prohibition. Yeah. Sorry, where was I, though?
Yeah, sorry.
I think it's really going to come down to, it really does just come down to individuals. The club doesn't want to alienate the player. The league doesn't want to cause friction with the clubs. No one wants to cause friction with any governments. And it's just everyone's trying to tread lightly. Right. No one wants to be the one that's okay, at an organizational level, beyond clubs just doing we'll do some charity with some black kids and then we'll say no to racism in one event and we'll call it a day there. Or donate money, and some clubs do in earnest try to do it. But it doesn't happen high up enough. And I don't think it's gonna, Chuck. I don't think it's at what point is UEFA gonna punish the clubs, because they won't even punish the fucking players. Literally that's what this story is about. So I don't see it happening at the football organizational level unless it happens from FIFA, I guess. But even then, this only gets fixed when the internet gets fixed, which is to say probably never, but maybe hopefully in the next 10 years. When someone says to Twitter, okay, we are taking you, the company of Twitter, to court because of these things that happened.
Yeah. Well, then you get into the realms of, are they a publisher of content or a aggregator or whatever it is,
Right, exactly.
Because Thierry Henry's point was that and it's one that Chuck made a couple of weeks ago, actually, that the second you put a copyrighted video on Twitter, it gets pulled. They have the means to block this stuff at source. You were talking about at what point can it be stopped? You can block it at source, but if they do that, they block a load of conservative political commentators. And,
apparently, I can't remember which website it is. It might be Instagram or Snapchat. They already automatically filter out 95% of what happens.
Really?
So apparently all the stuff we're hearing about is only 5%.
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, this is purely anecdotal, and I guess at this point we can move on right after this because we probably should get to the soccer at some point. But I would say I get at least one a week, and I don't talk about it. I don't think that's something that you guys knew. I think probably when I'm listening back to this in a couple of days, I'll be sitting next to my wife, and she's gonna look at me and be like, "Wow, is that really true? That's so sad." Because I don't it's not something I feel the need to talk about, but I do think that it is so much more pervasive online than I think, unless you are one of the people getting those types of messages, realizes.
Yeah.
It's not at all. And I have fucking 200 followers or something. I don't have a lot of followers. I'm not a big account.
It's not that. Yeah.
So just going off percentages, I'm seeing it that much. And like I said, you just block them and you move on. But Yeah, it's dear white people, it's much, much, much more pervasive on a very, very, very regular scale than I think you guys might realize. And that's not, obviously not to reverse racism. That's not all white people, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. We should get to the actual fixtures. I have avoided this long enough.
I was going to say it might be
Here we are.
I feel a bit bad doing such a quick change off the back.
Life is life, and we just move on. That's a perfect metaphor. You block the racism and you go on to something else.
At fucking massive, hilarious football results. That's just what's going to happen, isn't it, Oscar? What was the score?
Yes, that's right. So we have Saturday, April 3rd, Chelsea 2, West Brom 5. Chelsea 2.6.
No, you got that the wrong way round. No, what? Thomas Tuchel. Tommy Tuchel, king of the tactics, football pervert.
Chelsea 2, Brom 5. Chelsea 2.6 to Brom's 1.4. So that is, Mr. Simpson, go ahead and cue the jingle. I forgot to say that before.
Battle of the week!
Oh, sorry, do you want the long one?
No, give it the airtime it deserves.
Okay.
Ooh, they're better than they ought to be.
Burnley of the week.
So, they...
Oh, come on,
Way to suck all the energy out of the room, Oscar.
Yeah. West Brom more than tripled their XG. Chelsea underperformed, and we lost 5-2 to West Brom. I'm not going to take any kind of out in terms of the Burnley-ing there. Chelsea were shit. It was by far their worst performance. Obviously, the 10 men is a factor. I think the red card was probably a bit harsh, but whatever. Like, everybody gets harsh red cards sometimes. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea were bad. That's it. I don't know. You guys have been... texting me all week talking about how much you're going to make fun of me, how much you're going to shred me to pieces, better bring my lube, all that.
Yeah,
so,
but you're always really good at you're really good at taking the fun out of it, and I fucking hate you for it.
You could get upset for us, Oscar.
Prick for once, you prick.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not sad. I mean, we've been really good. This was bad. I'm not saying they weren't, but
I don't know if Ian, you watched this live as well, but it was one of those games where, and because of the nature of how Chelsea played, I didn't think it would matter them going down to 10 men. I didn't think with what we've seen from Tuchel and the fact that his style of play hasn't been his usual one and it's been about possession and control of games and choking the life out of it, I didn't think West Brom necessarily having the extra man would have been so much of an advantage. And then Chelsea still were attacking, but it was just pretty... broken. I mean, he did that classic stupid Chelsea manager thing of shifting to a back four when you've got Marcus Alonso at left back and having Jorginho there. And it was very reminiscent of that goal that Oscar doesn't remember about Heung-min Son attacking down the right side and it being those two and just Son being able to just run all the way round them, like down the sideline, along the touchline, back in. And it was just that all over again. You think, well, those are the defensive frailties of that team. They kept attacking down that side, having great luck. I mean, granted, I think Mendy embraced the Kepa.
Yeah, Mendy did not have a good day. I mean, it was a bad day all around, but he let in some real long distance, not particularly well hit into the corner or hard shots. I'll say that.
Yeah, so bad times. Werner's still cursed. Pulisic's goal was good. That was good. Like he made the right thing, running towards the near post like that, and I think he deserved. He deserved the goal from there for being there. I think that was quite a smart run. But yeah, the red card. That's. That's a red card for me. That's a second yellow.
Yeah, I must admit, Oscar, I thought it was a red as well. I thought it was a second yellow. Sorry. Okay. I'm perfectly happy with that being a yellow. I just thought it was slightly exuberant. It was Silva trying to put his stamp on the match when he should have just...
He already stamped once.
The first one might have been a straight red. That I could have been more okay with, I think, than the second yellow, if I'm being honest. But it's a yellow and a half, let's say.
I think that's poor from him when he's on a yellow already.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was bad.
Yeah, and I think... If that happens at 79 minutes instead of 29 minutes, you're as a Chelsea fan, you're probably not so unhappy with the second yellow. It's because it was so early in the game. But I think a lot of Chelsea fans' anger was probably directed the wrong way. I think it should have been directed towards Silva, personally.
The only thing I would say in response to that, and Tuchel said this after the match as well, is that we were bad before the red card. They were carving us apart anyway. So I'm not going to be I'm not going to focus too much on one thing. Like, Silva was bad, and getting a red card is dumb. I think maybe it was his first match back playing under Tuchel, so he, like you said, wanted to like really stamp his authority on it, really like make a mark. Obviously, that didn't go well.
Yeah, and he should know better at his age.
And he should know better at his age. Yeah, exactly. Rudiger wasn't in there either. Rudiger and Kepa got in a fight in training. And so...
Why would Rudiger get punished for that? He's doing a favour.
Should be given a bonus, if anything.
Bonus, yeah.
I wish he had just laid Kepa the fuck. No, I don't. I don't wish actual physical harm on anyone. Kepa's, I'm sure, a really nice guy. I'm sure I would be friends with him. But anyway.
Not if you listen to our previous episodes, mate.
Yeah. I'm not making excuses. They were bad. They were worse than West Brom, Burnley or not Burnleying or whatever. That's more annoying than the actual like game itself, is the fact that we got Burnleyed. Like, I was fine until I saw that.
Yeah, I think if you watch the balance of play, there's not, when it's like just an absolute fluke and something happens, but when it's like, no, my team played shit and the result reflected that. Yeah,
I don't think we were better by any stretch, even if the XG says we were higher. That's mostly, I think, a game state thing. And we could sit here and pick out like individual mistakes like Alonso or Silva or Mendy or
Jorginho
or Aspi on the right side. Like, there was a lot of error to go around.
They made a lot on the commentary about the fact that he was never intending on Silva playing the full 90, and it was about getting minutes.
Right.
And there was very much a lot of this isn't the Bundesliga, this isn't League One kind of stuff, which was a bit like, all right, just calm down. But I did think it was a bit weird that if you are intending, normally, like, if you want to bring someone back like that, bring them on for the last 20, last 30, the game slowed down a bit. And so I think it showed him just not being quite on it. And I think the reason I'm happy with it being a second yellow and a red card, and it makes sense with the surprise, is that we see this so often in matches that things don't happen because it's early, or because referees deal with the events in isolation as opposed to necessarily in perspective of the whole game. Andy Penprace from Sutton was saying before that, he was like, Silva's going to get sent off. Silva's going to get sent off. And so for me, after he said that, and I think I started watching the game just after Silva's first yellow, I think. And so to me, like, if I'm a referee and I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing a player going all over the place doing that, and then being reckless and potentially risking injury, you're like, well, it looks, mate, to me like you're just not on it today and you need to get off the pitch. So it was kind of potentially an argument for the orange card that they've mentioned before, where it's like you have to get off, but you can bring a player on. And it was kind of what we've been saying, that, even though the West Brom player got the shot off, it was still called back for the foul afterwards because of his follow through. So I think it exists in an area where it's that classic, if that happened more often, which is probably what should happen.
That's fair.
That you wouldn't be as upset about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a wrong call. I just think it was soft. I think it was a soft second yellow for red. But it was a foul. Like, I'm not crying about it.
If it's the 30th minute and you're considering a second yellow card for someone already, or they could have potentially had it already, or like you said, the first one probably should have been a red.
It could have been red, yeah.
Yeah, let's get this guy off the field before someone gets hurt.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing about this, honestly, because I texted you guys before.
It's Sam Allardyce in it. That's the worst thing. It's Sam Allardyce in it. Yeah.
Nah, he got his pint of gravy.
I texted you guys before the match, and I was like, we're going to lose soon. We're due. No one stays this good for this long. Like, even Pep eventually lost to United, right? Like, so that was due. I'm glad it happened now than against fucking Palace next weekend, because how bad would that be? Or, even worse, tomorrow in the Champions League. I'm glad they got their little stutter out of the way. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a whole thing. But the fucking thing that infuriates me is that it was West Brom. Again. I literally just want to complain about this, so just listen for the next 30 seconds. In the last 10 years against West Brom, okay? In 2011/12, they beat us 1-0. In 2012/13, they beat us 2-1. In 2013/14, they drew with us 2-2 and also 1-1, so we couldn't beat them. In 14/15, they beat us 3-0. In 15/16, they drew with us 2-2. 16/17, they beat us 1-0. And now this year, a 3-3 draw and a 2-5 loss. So they have our fucking number. Like, genuinely, they are our fucking bogey team. I think 3 or 4 Chelsea managers have been fired immediately after West Brom.
You're the kind of person that's like, oh, passion mentality doesn't matter, but you buy into the bogey team thing. When I guarantee you, none of those incarnations of results probably had the same managers, the same players, anything.
None of them. None whatsoever.
It's just so funny how that's just an aspect of your personality that you are happy to go with that.
Yeah,
thing.
It's got to come out somewhere. I have to just allow, like, I'm human. I have to have confirmation bias somewhere. So I just, I let it come in different spots, I guess. I don't know.
Callum Robinson has scored 5 goals against Chelsea in 3 appearances in the league.
There you go.
Timo Werner scored 5 goals for Chelsea. What? Dig.
Moving on then
You can move on now if you want. Yeah, go on.
Next match we have is Leicester 0, Manchester City 2. Just City. Leicester 0.3 to City's 2.0 on XG. Just another day at the office for City. Much better than Leicester, and that's what the scoreline showed. A ton of rotation, presumably with the Champions League in mind, I believe, right?
Yeah. Screwed my FPL team over. Fucking
yeah, that's the story here, I think. The stats robots went 0 for 3 on their City picks for this match.
Yeah, have you got the same? Because I've got Cancelo, Stones, and Gundogan. All on the bench.
Yeah, so that's the same one.
Lovely,
yeah.
Thank you.
Worth noting as well that as we record, City are playing Dortmund. It's half-time and City are up 1-0.
Yeah, and they've looked good for it. Because I've got it on here.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, and Real Madrid are beating Liverpool 2-0 at half-time.
Oh, hey. I'm just saying. 2021 is 2012 anagrammed. We beat a Portuguese team in the quarterfinals, a Spanish team in the semifinals, and then a German team in the finals in 2012. And it's looking like that's on the way.
I'm going to rush to get this out tomorrow, which is Wednesday, before the Porto game, as much as I can.
Egg on the face. Egg on the face.
And if you didn't do that, then you guys are listening to this knowing that I am horrendously sad about Chelsea losing to Porto. Yeah, all right, City good.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about this, just because it was City with a perfectly functional performance. Leicester didn't do anything particularly wrong. I don't think they were completely outclassed all game or anything. It's nothing for them to worry about, but it was just City doing City things. I genuinely think it's that simple.
De Bruyne doing absolute filth passes again. Like I say again, still, like, I've always said it, he does that pass where it's like, he knows it's far enough away from a player that they aren't going to get it, but close enough that they 100% are going to bite on it. And he did it through 2 players. It wasn't like a heavy hit ball. It was hit at the perfect amount of pace that it looked slow, but it was just perfect. 2 Leicester players went for it, missed. Then it went through.
Genuinely, I know it sounds stupid, but like
he's quite good.
He is very good. Yeah, his weight of pass is something that is so much better than a lot of other midfielders, and you're absolutely right. He always pitches that exactly right. He always puts it either on feet if he needs to put it on feet, or just in front of players. His weight of pass is just something else.
And he's had that shit since he was a teenager, because I liked him when he was still at Genk, because there was a lot of connections and stuff, and like that's the one thing about him. No matter what foot he's using, no matter where on the pitch he's standing, he can like make the ball do magic bullet stuff like from the movie Wanted to get it to arc exactly at the right...
Oh, not JFK?
Well, that's visual. If people have seen that movie, they can picture how the bullet arcs, whereas the JFK bullet is like really extra chaotic, which is not what KDB's passes look like.
Is there another midfielder behind a grassy... No, sorry.
All right, well, yeah.
In the book suppository.
KDB, many good. Moving on.
Hot takes, Miles Offside Pod. Kevin De Bruyne equals good at football.
Stroke, possibly presidential assassin.
I'm just saying, where was he?
Where was he?
Unknown. Moving on, we have Arsenal 0, Liverpool 3, Arsenal 0.2 to Liverpool's 2.4. Pretty much exactly to the XG. Man, were Arsenal terrible here. I would have taken much more joy out of this if Chelsea hadn't already been quite shit a few hours before that, sullying my mood. So I'm not going to talk shit about Arsenal this week when we lost to fucking West Brom. But do you guys want to talk shit about Arsenal on my behalf?
I mean, I can.
Always happy.
Happy to pick up that baton. There's all these comparisons going around that they've moved backwards. Arteta, that was Arteta's 50th game in the league, I think. And comparing Wenger's last 50 and Emery's first 50, he's worse off in win percentage, more losses than everyone, not converting them to draws. Like, they need to pick a lane. Are they cohesive and know what they're doing, or are they just going to revert to that team where they just stand and point and go, I want ball this way, I want ball this way, and then not make runs for those spaces and not try to link it up and just pass out everywhere and just be like Granit Xhaka and score own goals or some shit?
My bet's on the second one.
Arteta I thought was really interesting in the post-match because he immediately took full responsibility, said it's me, I'm fully responsible, but at the same time was saying the team were very poor, not doing the basics. He was like, it's very frustrating, big shock to the system, didn't win enough duels, gave away so many easy balls. So
less than 42 crosses,
which is the benchmark, as we all know. I mean, I would not have wanted to be in the meeting that was no doubt on Monday, because he would have pulled them apart. I mean, this is someone who's was a student of Guardiola, and to watch that, because the first half they got away with it.
Yes,
and they really did get away with it because they were fucking awful. And it was like, how Liverpool haven't scored is unbelievable, but they've got away with it here. Arteta's surely gonna, drag them over the coals during half time. And then, for whatever reason, they came out and were worse. Way worse. It just, I couldn't believe how poor they were.
I mean, the reason is Arteta. Like, that's literally his job.
Well, absolutely it is. And I like Arteta, but it's hard to make an argument for him when they were terrible and went in 0-0 and then came out more terrible and went in 3-0 down. It was very, 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 very poor.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can't, I can't say it enough. They were just so bad.
I mean, in fairness to Arsenal, and this is not in fairness, this is one of those
Can we do fairness to Arteta, not Arsenal? Can we do fairness to Arteta, not Arsenal? I'll stand by the man, not the...
well, let me get to the second half of my sentence, because it's one of those backhanded infairnesses. So just let me finish, and then you'll be able to laugh.
Oh, so not in fairness.
Well, sort of. In fairness to Arsenal, I don't know what you could expect from them here, because Liverpool are literally more than 4 times better than them on expected goal difference per 90. Liverpool are at 0.61 positive goal difference per 90 expected, and Arsenal are at 0.14. That's mostly neutral per 90.
Cool, but we've seen Burnley have a go, we've seen Brighton have a go. There was nothing about Arsenal that made me think they were ever going to score, and we've seen much worse teams at least cause Liverpool problems, and it's sort of it's annoying.
Yeah.
Especially this season, and it's annoying that we can't... I don't think you can judge Liverpool on this result as much as, we could say maybe Liverpool are coming out of it, they've had a couple of decent results lately. I don't even class this necessarily as a decent result because their opposition was non-existent.
Yeah, well, Liverpool had Alexander-Arnold back pinging in incredible passes. We spoke about
Get him on the plane
before. Get him on the plane.
Diogo Jota has been doing things...
Diogo Jota came back from injury, scoring goals. Salah was passing to Mane a few times. These are just all positive things.
Yeah, I don't like that because they're getting a little too close to Chelsea in the what will end up being the race for the last top 4 spot, it's looking like, unless Leicester start to drop more points. And this makes me 0% comfortable because I want Chelsea to be there so that this Tuchel team can have the Champions League next year that they deserve to test themselves in.
Right.
Well, I've been tortured with 538 prediction percentages this season.
Yeah, they're not applicable for the Premier League this year, Ian. Okay, don't worry about it. We don't need to talk about it.
Sorry, what?
They don't
Oh,
apply.
right, so we are-
No. They don't work for the Premier League this year. They emailed me on the
These models
side.
work for League One, where the data is probably
Exactly.
much
Yeah.
worse.
That's exactly
The
right.
stats
Yeah.
community won't like you, Oscar, if you're just picking and choosing to suit your agenda.
No. They emailed me on the side and were like, don't talk about the probabilities and the predictions for the Premier League this year. And I was like, all right, out of respect for you, Nate Silver.
Ian, do the numbers. I'll
Yeah,
just
give it
mute
to him. Come on, what do you got?
I will do. Liverpool are 55% to qualify for the Champions League, and Chelsea are currently 38%.
Oh, okay.
Leicester are 65%, so yeah, that would put Chelsea 5th.
Yeah.
Still, mate, Europa League. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Get Tommy Tuchel a trophy in Europe. Yeah,
Yeah,
buddy.
Yeah. This is actually a very genuinely interesting conversation has been happening in analytics about why 538's numbers disagree with basically everyone this year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Because they just make it up.
No. Their methodology is less open source than others. So everyone's having discussions as to like what are they looking at. Part of it is European performances getting weighed much more heavily and not other competitions getting weighed more heavily. Which is part of what makes Liverpool look better. Although a lot of people reasonably argue that, well, they are doing well in those, so that means that they are better, so forth and so on. So it's kind of a back and forth. There's no like right or wrong answer, but it's curious you bring it up because like genuinely, the double pivot guys did like a half hour recently on like why does everyone else disagree with 538 and who's going to end up being right. So I don't know, but it definitely doesn't make me happy that we're behind Liverpool.
No, it can't. It can't.
No.
It's. I mean, it's weirdly. It feels more about because you're only 5 points away from Leicester.
Yeah.
It's weirdly to me whether Leicester do their Leicester thing of at the end of the season struggling.
This is where they were last year, and Leicester are not nearly as good as those other teams on XG difference per 90, which is really the thing that most accurately predicts.
Yeah.
as we've
Well,
talked
they're
about.
the sort of perennial overperformers, aren't they? And
Yeah, but they do still have like West Brom and Newcastle to play.
Well, and the problem is that there's not that many games, and every point matters quite a bit. 5 points over 30 games versus 5 points over 8 games is a huge difference. So,
Numbers.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's keep going then. Are you guys going to genuinely make me talk about Southampton Burnley because there was 5 goals scored?
Do you know what?
Can we just...
It was genuinely a really exciting and fun match to watch. No
really?
hint of agenda or whatever. There was some really good goals. There was some really good play. Southampton came back from 2-0 down. Burnley were actually attacking and like passing and trying. It was genuinely a really good game, and I think Southampton did well to come back.
Yeah, when it's one of them that it's sort of mid-table mediocrity teams, and you genuinely, I thought this is going to be fucking awful.
Yeah.
Great game, really exciting.
It was the exact point of football you want, where it's like two teams that are similar position, exactly like Ian said, that are kind of at that point now where it doesn't matter because they're not going to get relegated and there's enough randomness and variance that who knows, they could finish 16th or 9th at this point in the season. So they just went at it, and it was really good fun to watch.
Cool. All right.
More, please.
Well, then tune in next week to whoever Southampton are playing and or whoever Burnley are playing, and you might end up with an accidentally interesting match.
It's Burnley Newcastle. Fuck no, we won't. Well, maybe.
Well, actually, moving on to the next one, speaking of interesting matches involving Newcastle, it's Newcastle 2, Tottenham 2, Newcastle 3.3 to Tottenham's 2.4. R.I.P. Jeff Petter, I believe he had 3 heart attacks over the course of this match. He was so much rage tweeting was happening, and we love you, Jeff. Hang in there. It's not as bad as you feels like it is. Josie will be gone soon.
Willie, it's very expensive, very expensive to get rid of it.
I feel good about Arsenal and Tottenham sucking. Makes me less angry about Chelsea losing to West Brom.
It's pretty fucking abysmal as results go. I'm not going to lie. It was one of the worst defensive performances I've seen. Tottenham were all over the shop, and it's like they allowed Newcastle to come at them so much, and Newcastle had the most shots in the box they've ever had. Some XG numbers, 3.3 for Understat. Infogol has it at 3.86. BBC had it at 4.02. So I'm happy to go with that one. That one's great. And they were just getting into these positions where if it wasn't Newcastle, they would have scored a lot more. No, it was just not quite being there. Dwight Gale forced Lloris into a double save really early on that was good. And then it was just like Joe Linton being there and just being left alone before the goal for about 20 seconds whilst Tottenham repeatedly tried to clear it. I think it was 3 clearances in a row where they just hit the Newcastle player, hit their own player, skewed the ball, and then played it in, and Joe Linton basically had a tap in. And like Jose being Jose and saying, why is your approach not working at this team when it has at others? And he pulls out the classic same coach, different players. Like, what? Digs.
Yeah.
So, lucky they've got Harry Kane, eh?
Yes. I mean, yes, genuinely. He's very good.
Yeah.
He hasn't been injured for a while. He's super fucking good. It sucks.
Yeah, and they'll be glad that Son got half the game under his belt at least. I did enjoy Bale coming on and he just sort of walked on, chewing gum and like, that free kick's mine, okay? And everyone just clears out, all right, Gareth, there you go, take that free kick. Bang, straight over the bar. Fucking wanker. Just looked like such a moron coming on for the last 4 minutes and just literally came on and they were crowded around the ball for the free kick and he just went, picked the ball up, moved it forward 6 inches and was just like, I'm taking this. It's like, if you do that, you better make sure you fucking hit the target.
Golf, he got confused. Wrong sport. You thought, this is a problem because Tottenham play in white, sometimes he gets confused, thinks he's still playing for Madrid and just has to fuck it.
Fucking used a sand wedge on that one because it was nowhere fucking near.
Definitely.
And then you've got, so Toby Alderweireld, apparently, there was some sort of thing about him not being back in time from international duty to get COVID cleared. Apparently he disputes that because he liked a tweet where someone said, no, he was back at this date and blah, blah, blah. Apparently that's it. Jose's just managing to sort of spot piss off. Yeah, exactly. A few players, where they're getting happy to just on social media sort of, everyone knows if you like a tweet, everyone can see it, and it's just, Jose's doing Jose things. I mean, the post-match was classic Jose. And I've started to feel for Tottenham fans a little bit because
nope,
no,
not me.
But it felt like their year, and the Jose thing has just accelerated very quickly, hasn't it?
Their year for what?
Well, no, when it started with like Son and Kane were banging in 4 or 5 goals, every other game for fun. It was just
But the problem is when it's only 2 players, and then one of those absolutely. 2 players gets injured, and then fair enough to Harry Kane, like he is top goals, top. I can't remember the last time someone was top for goals and assists. Like,
he might be player of the year this year, straight up.
Yeah, he's done incredibly considering a lot of people, us included, and I certainly put me in that because I think I used the words busted flush at the start of the season. And, he's proved everyone wrong by actually dropping deeper with a plan rather than just doing it out of necessity. And, he's been unbelievable, but I don't know what to make of Spurs at all. I don't know what to make of Jose. I don't even know if he's still a good manager. He certainly thinks what he said about pundits shouldn't be saying things about one of the most important managers of the game, and I think gave a name to fans of him, Marinistas or something. Which
brilliant.
Just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like, you'd have fans of him following around club to club.
Look, we stan a sassy Portuguese queen. I'm just saying. All right, I love Jose Mourinho so much,
of
and
course,
I never ever wanted to change.
He did incredible things at your club, but I think that's the thing. He did incredible things at Chelsea,
and now he's doing hilariously terrible things at Man United and at Tottenham.
Hey,
it's fucking
he
great.
got that Man United team to second, okay,
which was an incredible achievement,
team.
actually.
Yeah, genuinely, that's one of the more impressive things he's done as a manager. Just will never get recognition because, like, he didn't win a title and, stuff. But, that was unbelievably impressive. And it's not that long ago. Like, Jose has it in him. Even this start of this season. God, why am I defending Tottenham? I don't know.
No, you're defending Jose.
We
know what's
a system. You talked about, Harry Kane is good because he's dropping in with a plan.
Yeah.
He didn't fucking come up with that plan. Jose Mourinho gave him that plan.
Yeah, true.
So he has, if Kane does get player of the year this year, which I think he's probably in the lead. I don't know what the bookies would say, but the analytics community has him as one of the front runners at least. That's down to Jose.
Yeah.
Jose brought Kane back from the dead. So That's an impressive and important thing to happen even after he inevitably leaves. If they can hold on to Kane and they have a Kane that's like confident and healthy and knows how to play within a different type of system, blah, 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 like that's genuinely an accomplishment that Jose Mourinho did this year.
Yeah.
But they also could have tied Chelsea for points, and instead they dropped 2 points against Newcastle. So,
Bad times.
Bad times. 3-1, speaking of bad times, RIP Fulham, Aston Villa 3, Fulham 1, Aston Villa 1.52 to Fulham's 1.52, exactly even on Understats XG, but Fulham losing by 2 goals here. That does drop them to 61% to go down, third most likely, and most likely of the not 2 obviously relegated teams.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
They just lost their minds a little bit late on, and yeah, Dean Smith's substitutions were very good. Although Trezeguet was a bit mouthy in the post-match as well. He clearly not too happy that he's been benched so often this season, but he was brilliant when he came on, and so fair play to him. He did the business. Yeah, but Fulham did lose their heads a little bit, and that is an opportunity missed, isn't it? Because Newcastle have got game in hand now and are 3 points ahead, so it does become much trickier for Fulham now, which is a real shame because we stand Fulham, we stand Scott Parker, who was genuinely seemed absolutely gutted afterwards as well. But I don't think they did anything particularly wrong. I'm scared to use the word, but it was a little bit of a sort of mentality loss at the end there. They just took their foot off the gas, really.
That is a real thing, for the record. Like, there are some cases where it is mentality, so like, I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
No, but I get annoyed at its overuse,
Yeah. Fulham are looking at a really tough run-in, too. That does, like, I'm guessing that's part of why their relegation percentage is high, because they have Wolves, Arsenal, Chelsea, Burnley, Southampton, Man United, and then Newcastle on the last day. So, like, yes, they have Newcastle on the last day, but along the way there, they play some genuinely good teams and a lot of mid-table teams.
Yeah, it just feels like it started a bit too late for them, really, with going up. But it's whether or not they take the Norwich route and they're taking a longer plan. And it was like, no, we can go down and hold on to players and come back.
Well, the Norwich route tonight is
against Huddersfield.
Huddersfield 6-0. Yeah,
Huddersfield.
Yay, Huddersfield.
Timu Pukki with a hat-trick. Oh, do you remember that? Pukki hat-tricks for FPL.
I was in London the last time Pukki was banging in goals for FPL. That's how long ago that was.
This is very true. I'll happily rob Scott Parker off Fulham. Not sorry, Saphira Gold.
He's so handsome.
Yeah. He is.
He's so every time you guys bring him up, I'm just like,
yeah, all right. Well,
he has nice hair,
let's
perfect
move on because,
jawline.
Yeah, all right, we get it.
Really good fashion sense. No, I'm going to talk about it for a little bit.
Sad. Brighton lost. They were up. Oh, unlucky Brighton. Sorry. Oh, no. Graham Potter.
Fine. We can not talk about how handsome Scott Parker is for once, and we'll move on to the next match. Manchester United 2, Brighton 1. Manchester United 1.7 to Brighton's 1.4 on XG. Mm-hmm. So pretty technically rounds to the correct whole numbers in the XG scoreline. It was probably closer to a draw. But, just a good day for United, who are pulling away from the rest of the pack, unfortunately, in the race for Europe. They are at 60 points. Chelsea are at 51, being probably the next most likely of the chasing pack. West Ham are at 52.
We literally gave the numbers before, and you're not. You're not. You're third most likely below Man United. It goes Man United, then Liverpool, then Leicester, then Chelsea.
Right. Liverpool. Okay, so what I'm saying, though, is West Ham are not really in the conversation.
No, I didn't say West Ham. Didn't say West Ham.
So Man United have a 9-point gap to the only other teams really in the conversation for fourth place, Chuck.
4 points, Leicester.
Which is feeling pretty good. 538 has them at 97% to qualify for the Champions League after that result. Pretty much job done. How are we feeling about Ole? Given that this is where they're like basically what their season, they don't really have much left to do.
So I just wanted to laugh at Brighton. I don't have anything to say here.
All right, we'll save the Ole conversation for another day then. Brighton. Brighton now, in terms of their numbers,
are 6 points behind Palace, so it doesn't matter.
6 points behind Palace and 1% to get relegated. 1%.
There's still a chance.
All right. Well, that takes us on then to Easter Monday, April 5th, bank holiday over in the UK. I was working through all of these, so I didn't catch any of them. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 1, Everton 2.5 to Palace's 0.6. Oof. Chuck, any words on this one?
We got a point.
Batshuayi scored as well.
Yeah, that was nice. I was really worried. Like, literally the second it went in, I was like, it's offside. It's offside. Is that a goal? Look at his little face. Even he doesn't celebrate the goal whatsoever because he's like, I don't want to move. I mean, I didn't look at the XG numbers, so, pinch of salt. But we were actually playing more in a more attacking way, and the substitutions weren't defensive midfielder for defensive midfielder. So that's kind of nice. But also it then feels like if this is the route we're going to go down for the rest of the season and we're going to play with the shackles off and we're going to attack and it's going to be entertaining to watch and we're going to get points, is it going to piss me off that we just didn't do it for the rest of the season? Stay tuned to find out, folks.
I think the answer is definitely yes.
100% yes. It will burn me to my very fucking core.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to talk shit about Palace.
Good, really good goalkeeping, actually, and that was the same in the Burnley Southampton match, which was weird that you get like 5 goals, but also the goalkeepers were putting on fantastic performances as well.
And one last match for the week: Wolves 2, West Ham 3. Wolves 2.0 to West Ham's 1.6. So West Ham getting a Burnley here, but not Burnley of the week, obviously. We talked
Norwich 7-0.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Huddersfield. Carry on, sorry. I know it's just a complete and utter segue that means nothing.
Yeah, that's worth noting. Norwich are going to tear up the Prem next year.
Yeah. Any words from you, gents, on this one's for all the W's? Wolves versus West?
Well, I think I know what the comment's going to be before you two make it, so go on.
Lingard's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Thank you, Ian, for taking that, so I don't have to.
I still don't like him. Won't forgive him for FA Cup final and all that. But you couldn't. That was a really good goal. His goal was really good. I think he assisted the second, and then the third.
His assist was, it's really good as well.
The third, he did the audacious, almost the Balassi flick, saving the ball, going off for a throw-in, flicking it just before it went out for a corner to then pass across. That's pretty special.
Yeah, he's good. From an FPL point of view, no one has scored more points since he moved to West Ham. If you take it from game week 22 when he moved to West Ham, he is the highest FPL point scorer.
And you know what? I really look forward to West Ham spending 50 million on him in the summer.
And then him getting cropped.
I mean, I'm not wishing injury on the man, but that is 100% going to happen.
I don't know. He might be a bit busy on England duty. Come on, Gareth, put him on the plane.
Gareth loves him.
He hasn't done anything for years and played really well for 6 games in the team.
You know he'll get
Done.
in. You know he will.
100%. Yes. That pleases me greatly because it'll be at the expense of someone clearly much better.
God, it'll be like Grealish. If he leaves Grealish at home, fucking hell.
But it's all those. This is the annoying thing with international football. Not to delve into this cesspit, but everyone in isolation, and you see people saying it for so many players, going, "Oh, you've got to take." Jack Grealish comes up. Oh, he's got to be on the plane, and then Mason Mount comes up. Oh, he's got to be on the plane, and all these people. Yeah, in isolation, that's great. You can say that. Put together 25 players. Go for it. 100%. You will have to leave out someone that should be there. It's just what happens.
Yeah, it's like in the golden generation. They should have just not tried to shoehorn Gerrard in there. Because
with Lampard,
Scholes and Lampard and there was a lot of people around.
I like the way with you Lampard automatically gets the nod.
But Lampard was the best.
he was the best. Rightly so. All right, well that should do it for soccer. Fucking finally, not my turn to host anymore. Someone. Do you want to
finish your sentence or?
Yeah.
Not my turn to host anymore. Silence.
Just stops.
That is a sentence. You put a period there. It is the end of a sentence.
Yeah, but not when your inflection went up like it did.
Yes, fair enough. Not my turn to host anymore. So someone please take over, and I will switch into trolling mode.
Predictor League of predictions. We haven't done it for ages. Here's the time for the perfectly rehearsed jingle that I totally write every week to remember myself what happens in the game, so you know the rules before the season. Lots of people, maybe 33, no, I think it's 34, gave us their predictions of where teams will finish in the Premier League, and I worked out an algorithm to work out the standard deviation of their teams, where they predicted to give them a score where lower is better. Predictor League
you
has...
spoil us with that long jingle.
Yeah, well, top is the table that we put in the other day, which was the expected goal difference per 90 table. So that's on 60.
Still, that's top, is it?
Yeah, I've just updated
stats.
it. Ultimately, we're all shit. Because that means, on average, you're 3 places wrong with every team in the league. Second is Chris Smith, good old Smitty, so the actual person, on 62. And then in joint third place, James Doncaster, the father of Oscar Dalton, and some guy called Ian Stimson.
Oh, lovely.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm in 6th. Then we got Sam Danby, Nate Whittam, Adam P, Pad Fall, Dave Mateo, the average of the 3 of us, Rob Heppenstall, Gabriel, just lost where I am. Then Alex Sampson, 15th, Emily Drennan in 16th, John O.G., Jeff Pedder, Finley Stimpson, Mark Daffin, Tom Townley, Blair Williamson, Mark Howes, our Oscar, you're in 24th, mate. Jordan Cohen, Johnny Worthington, James, Lynn Hammer, Andy Penpraise from Sutton, Oscar, son of Father Dalton, Sophia Gold, and her brother Matthew Gold in 31st and 32nd respectively. Dan Parkinson in 33rd, and my better half Gina is last on 100 points.
Oh, bless her.
100 points. Hey, that's that magic mark. That's what you want to hit. That's what all the kids want.
That's what it is. So there you go. There's Predictor League. Means nothing apart from to those 30 people, but let's face it, you're the only ones listening. Yeah. So, and the winner gets a 51 pound gift card to a team of their choices.
Yeah. Smitty's to lose at the minute.
Club shop. Smitty's to lose at the minute, or one of us maybe will win again and then we'll have to go to second. But it is still my year. I should really do it. Should we talk about FPL, Ian? Do you want to talk about FPL this week? Are we bothered? Are we burnt out? How are we feeling?
Still just treading water.
Those 3 blanks sure didn't help, huh, Ian?
Oh, they really didn't help. As well, I don't know. I rolled a transfer, but if I had have done my transfer, it would have been Bale to Son. That would have been 1 point for 1 point. So who cares? I don't know. I've got 2 free transfers now. I'm probably am going to go Bale to Son because I think going forward that's the best thing. And then I'm probably going to go Maha to Iheanacho or something. I've got a couple of weeks before a wild card. I keep putting this wild card back. I'm going to end up doing it in game week 38 at this rate. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't want that because then you get the benefit of 1 week, but then not potentially 3 weeks of just having a better team.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Sunday night, I got rid of Dallas for Alexander Arnold, but then half my team went red after that, so I'm not feeling it. I've still got 1 free transfer though. I had like 1 to burn, and I wasn't too sure, and nothing's really jumping out at me because it's like the Man City players. There's no real point getting rid of any, even though I only suffered with Gundogan not playing. I still had De Bruyne and Diaz, so that helps. And then I've got Jota, Kai Havertz, that's what annoyed me as well. Mr. bloody natural, unnatural, false, true 9, his best 9, whatever, Tuchel, doesn't play Kai Havertz. It just puts bloody the cursed child playing in fucking...
No good.
And then Harry Kane saved my life. Luke Shaw pissed me off, and I've got Bamford. But maybe you'll get rid of Bamford. I don't know because they've got.
It's
City.
Getting trickier to hold Leeds assets, I think, isn't it?
Well, it's just the next 3 games are City, Liverpool, Man United.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what Leeds are like. That necessarily it doesn't matter. That you could get 1 goal.
Yeah, I feel like I'm perfectly happy to keep Rafinha, who's been the absolute only success story of my season.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything else I'm fairly happy to get rid.
You guys get so sad talking about FPL.
I think a lot of people are just... I don't even think it's just FPL. I think the novelty, like we've said it so many times, the novelty of every game being one after the other worn off. And, we spoke about it before about being able to watch every game.
Yeah.
It is great, but there should still be the option to have multiple games at once. Like, one of the best things is, like when we went to, where was it in New York? Oscar, what was the name of the place? For fuck's sake. The Football Factory?
Football Factory at Nevada, not at Nevada Smith's.
But having on the last game of the season, obviously 10 games on at once, or Ian, you and I in the Maple Leaf with friends with 6 games on at once, and actually being able to watch them in that situation, or having a goal rush, having a goal show like BT Sport do in the group stages of the Champions League and those kind of things, so that you've got something else to watch, because there is so much dead time in a game of football. And if it is a game that's a bit turgid, you want to kind of be able to switch over to something else. And I think that's kind of what is contributing so much to the burnout this year of an FPL week taking so long.
It also feels like I'm not obviously playing FPL. I am doing the stats robots, which is not going well. Got the 60 points this week or whatever. But like, I do fantasy for my Fantrax team. And it's just like, I miss having Monday to Friday off.
Yeah.
If I wanted it. You know what I mean? Like, now it's just like every day I have to check the lineup. Every day there's new players on waivers. Like, it's non-fucking stop. And I'm like, can I just get a fucking break for like a week?
Yeah, well, this international break's been nice.
Yes.
I really did just check out for a little while, just have a little bit of time off from football, and it was quite pleasant. And I was quite glad that some of the games were good this week, because I was up for it. It's a shame Peterborough didn't do better against Sunderland, because that's what I was really up for, and that was a bit of an anticlimax. But there you go,
And just to kind of close on what you were saying, Oscar, about draft, like, one of the reasons I didn't play draft before was because of working in hospitality and not being able to be on it on the Saturday 2 p.m, because that was like the make or break. Lineups come out, you've got 3, 4, 5 fixtures that are about to kick off at 3 o'clock, and you've got that rush at that time, and that, I've got this and this and that and that, and then you discover a player, you're like, no one's picked him up yet, shit, right, and then you're like, ha 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 ha.
Right.
But that doesn't exist anymore, because it's one game. You look at the lineup and go, oh yeah, not bothered. Oh yeah, not bothered. And it doesn't seem like there's that many options to make moves in one go. So I can understand.
I've missed deadlines for like check. Like I always like, an hour before I got to check lineup, see if there's someone on my bench that I need to put in or whatever. I've missed a bunch of fucking deadlines recently because I'm just like, it's like it'll be whatever.
What does it matter? None of it really matters, does it?
None of it matters.
No.
Which means that it is time for everybody's favorite part of the week.
Speaking of none of it matters.
Bluffer time.
Oh no, Ian, he's hosting.
Bluffer time. You're gonna get some Bluffer bluffs. They're gonna make some Bluffer guess, Bluffer guess, and Bluffer time.
If we keep talking, at least it cuts out the audio for us, because he gets the worst.
I'll still have to edit him back in though.
Will you?
Yeah, Ian has to hear it anyway. I talked over the whole song. Love that song. Really glad we found a way to get it back in. Emily's laughing right now, I guarantee, because that's like my classic move is like put a song on I really love and then talk over it about how great it is. So anyway.
Well, the song ended, so that's fine.
I have a category. I will say how many things there are in that category. Chuck and Ian will go back and forth, betting on how many they think they can name from that category, and so forth and so on. So this first list, which I'm going to give to Ian to start off, comes from LondonTopia.net.
Fuck. It's Cockney rhyming slang all over again.
Slang.
And it is the top 100 Cockney rhyming slang words and phrases. This went so poorly the other week that I needed to bring it back.
We bid 5 on 57.
Yeah, this is out of 100. I checked this one with an English person.
Who's the
And
English
they
person?
said that there's a lot of common
English
ones
person?
here. I will not tell you because if it goes poorly, I want that to be on me, not them. They were nice enough to help out. 100 Cockney rhyming slang words and phrases. Gentlemen, Ian, how many can you name?
I'm trying to remember what I said last week. I'm trying to figure out if my paper's still around from when I wrote them all down.
Yeah, oh shit, yeah, wait. Oh no, I scribbled them out in anger.
See, I think I might have ripped the page off. I'm still looking, but
I was so angry.
I also did read quite a few out over the air.
I think it was like from the origins of Cockney rhyming slang in like whatever it was, like the late 1800s or whenever. Which
Yeah, I think you're right.
it would have been hundreds of years of changes that no one would hear anymore.
This one is a modern list. A lot of the ones that you guys had said were here. This should be more reliable. You should have known I was going to bring it back. Come on.
I genuinely didn't think you would. It was Army and Navy for gravy that was my just
and then basin of gravy was baby.
Yeah, never heard it before in my life.
Yeah, neither of those
Army
is on
babies.
this one.
This is like the preamble is going to last longer than the roundy, and so go on, do you do?
It's fucking hilarious that I brought it back, though. Come on, you know.
I did not expect it. I'll be honest. Yeah. Okay. Right. I will go with 6.
Bastard! I was going to bid 6. 7.
8.
9. This list is out of 100.
Out of 100. Ian, out of 100, do you want to take us into the double digits?
Yeah, 10.
You don't have to. Don't feel pressured. I just wanted to bring back the Cockney thing.
No,
you guys can't
it's
get
funny
to
because
11,
I edited like a little teaser video of that bit. So I and it's been in conversation. I've talked to Kelly about it. I was like, how many Cockney rhyming slang do you think you can get? And then like played the thing of you saying Army and Navy for gravy, and she was furious, and it was all great. But yeah, all right, then I will bid 10, I suppose.
Okay, 11, I guess.
Chuck said 11. Guarantee that Chuck knew I was going to do this and memorized 1,000 popular Cockney words just
honestly,
as preparation.
I went through a few more. I will go. Oh God, right. I will go 12.
Lucky 13, Chuck. Do you want to go to 13 or do you want to let Ian have it at 12?
13.
I think I'm done. I had got 12 written down.
Shit.
I'm done.
No, I've still got 6, so Ian gets the point. Just give him the point.
No, come on, you got to go.
I don't have. I've got right. Okay, let me read through the scribbles. So apples and pears, which we did before. That probably won't be one.
That is, apples and pears is stairs.
I hope this is a better list.
Trouble and strife, wife.
Trouble and strife for wife, absolutely. Item number 96, it's in alphabetical order.
Whistle and flute.
Yes, number 99, whistle and flute for suit of clothes.
What the fuck does that say? Dog and bone.
Dog and bone for phone, yes.
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve for believe, yes.
Barney Rubble.
Barney Rubble for trouble, yes.
This is such a better list.
Oily rag.
Pew.
Okay.
Oh, that's a shame.
Sorry, oily rag is not there.
Okay, I don't have any more. So, like, I was hoping Ian would say 14, but
All right, Ian, go for it. What do you got?
I probably should have, because you got a couple that I forgot to write down. I've got, so there's Ruby Murray curry, which we mentioned last week.
That's here.
Butcher's hook, look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, butcher's hook for look, yep.
Yeah. Bees and honey.
Bees and honey for money, yep.
Rosie Lee, cup of Rosie.
Rosie Lee for a tea, yep.
And China plate for mate, me old China.
China plate for mate, meaning friend, yes.
That's it for me.
All right, well, point to Ian on that one. Chuck, you need this one to stay alive for the week. Otherwise, yet another point goes to Ian. This is the acts with the most number one albums on the official UK charts. The acts that have had the most number one albums in their career.
Of all time.
All-time total number one albums since 60 for the last 63 years.
Oh, my word.
Do you want to give us a number we're aiming for?
Oh, yes, I didn't say that. Sorry, this list is the top 53. You know what? Actually, guys, I'm going to actually limit this to 27 so that it's not, like, bidding from 53 is, like, way too fucking many.
Oh, we just did 100 Cockney rhyming slang, but...
Well, yeah, sure. But this one you guys might actually know stuff. So I'm going to do the top 27. That puts us at everyone who's had 7 or more number one albums in UK chart history.
7 or more number one albums.
Okay.
7 or more number one albums, yes.
4.
All right, Chuck. 4 out of the 27 artists that have had 7 or more number one albums on the UK charts.
5.
6.
I find this really hard to think of artists who have had 7 good albums. Of course, it doesn't actually mean 7 good albums. It just means 7 albums that have sold. But
There are people well into the double digits.
yeah, I think I'm going to let him go with 6. I'm struggling.
6. Wow. Okay, so 6
Yeah.
artists who have had 7 or more number 1 albums, Chuck.
Okay. Well, the Beatles.
That's right, the Beatles, number 1 with 15 albums that went number 1, a total of 176 weeks.
I don't really have any logic for these other than just saying massive artists.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that should work. You only have to get through 5. Ian was a coward with his bidding.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yes. 10 number 1 albums coming in at 9th on the list.
I had him as a maybe.
Okay. Queen.
Queen, yes. Also with 10 number 1 albums.
God, I only had them as a maybe as well. Fucking hell. I think I did right there.
Still a long way to go, Ian.
Yeah.
3 more. Chuck, 3 more.
I wonder how many are like modern though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And like I know people that have like number 1s, but it's also just assessing how many albums did they release, but they probably did
Yeah,
load.
definitely.
Who else is massive? Ian, who's massive? Would The Who be one? Yeah, The Who.
The Who. Boo! The Who are not even in the top 53.
Oh, God. Right.
So they have not even had 5 albums that went number 1. Did you have any more guesses?
David Bowie.
David Bowie, 11 albums. Yep.
Elton John.
Elton John is here for sure. 7 albums, Elton John. Yep.
Westlife.
Yes, genuinely, I
No,
remember their
oh
name from the
God,
list.
that's
Where are they?
Pressing.
Yeah, so that would have been like my next 3. Never mind.
Ian, any...
I had Madonna written down.
Yep, Madonna, 12 number 1 albums.
Robbie Williams.
Yep, Robbie Williams, 13 number 1 albums, beating
13?
Madonna on the list. Yeah, you guys love your Robbie Williams, apparently.
But I didn't even know he'd released that many albums.
13 number 1
Oasis?
albums.
Oasis?
Yeah, Oasis is, where are they? 8 number 1 albums.
Again, I would have only assumed, but I don't know. I don't know enough about music.
Yeah.
Never mind. Play music, Ian. Go on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
We'll just have to change the Bluffer theme tune to that to get it out of the way.
Just to get at, yeah, exactly. Yeah, just to rattle off some of these names here that you guys missed out. You could have had Elvis Presley, the Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, Rod Stewart, Michael Jackson, Eminem, Queen, U2, ABBA, Bob Dylan, Take That, Oasis, Coldplay, Led Zeppelin, REM, Kylie Minogue, Barbra Streisand, George Michael, Paul McCartney, The Prodigy, or Phil Collins.
See, there's artists like Eminem where you know that they've had 7, 8 albums, whatever they've had, but I wouldn't have necessarily said every single one had gone to number 1, you know.
Eminem has as many number 1 albums in the UK as Michael Jackson.
Fuck. Wow. That's incredible. Okay.
That is more of a statement about the UK than anything else, I think. I like Eminem quite a bit, but fucking hell.
That's a tough one. Tough one to get your head around that. Yeah, okay. Good category. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ian enjoys not answering any questions. Anyway, so we move on to...
I play the game, mate. Fuck off.
He's beating us. We can't,
Fixtures! Friday, the 9th of April, Friday deadline, 6:30 for your FPL purposes.
Phil Foden's just scored.
Yay! Good old Phil. Fulham have got Wolves on Friday night. Then on Saturday, 3 games: Man City against Leeds, Liverpool, Villa, and the Mop Derby, Chelsea versus Palace at 5:30 on Saturday.
There we go.
On the Sunday, Burnley versus Newcastle, West Ham, Leicester, Spurs, Man United, Sheffield United, Arsenal. And on Monday the 12th, West Brom versus Southampton and Brighton versus Everton. Some fairly even ones, lots of kind of stuff to go at. Yeah.
God,
Good
why are they
balance.
putting bad games on Monday nights at the minute?
Oh, because no one watches them.
Yeah, is that it? Oh,
It's got to be. It's always like Monday and Friday are never good games because they tried it for so long, I guess, to be like, oh, Monday night football, and it just doesn't. It doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. All right, should we get out of here?
Why not?
Sure.
Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for enduring it. Hopefully your knowledge of Cockney rhyming slang is through the roof now.
Mine's better than it was. It really is.
Yeah, well,
Educational.
Literally only just got into double digits. Say goodbye, Oscar.
Goodbye. By the way, that pub is Legends Football Factory, that Legends pub in the US in New York
There you
City.
go.
Shout out.
Say goodbye, Ian.
See you later.
And thanks, Nate Whittam, producer, girlfriend, haver, protector of the realm. Take care. Bye-bye.